Hey guys, this is Songbird. I know I definitely look like a doofus right now. I'm wearing my poncho quilt, my rain jacket, my buff, I have my jacket zipped up, and it's kind of like my vapor barrier liner, vapor barrier. And then I have my kilt on, which I'm leaning towards the kilt because then I can take it off, and it's pretty long, comes up to here on me from my feet. So I can use it as additional light blanket when it's really hot. So right now, let me show you what I got going on here. I'm on the back porch. It's supposed to be 31 degrees. Here on the back porch. This is probably 20 feet off the ground, so there's air moving freely underneath it. There's a little bit of a breeze. I'd say like 4 mile an hour, maybe gusty max. And man, it looks neat. So here's my setup here. Make sure you can see it. Got my Big Agnes poncho tarp right here, green thing, and then I've got my, this is my Bora Gear Bivy, and then inside there is my Thermarest X-Lite. It's only a 3.2 rating. I just got the new full-length pad, so I'm thinking that, there's my backpack. I just got my full-length pad, so I'm thinking that that'll boost my warmth a lot in my sleep system. So just kind of standing here for a second, trying to get a little cold. I've eaten a lot tonight. Drank a big glass of chocolate milk earlier. I've got a lot of calories in my system that I might not have on trail. And I'm very dry. So usually when you go to bed at night on trail in the summer, you may be a little damp, a little sweaty still. Hopefully not, but sometimes, let's assume. So I'm trying to get a little colder than I might be otherwise. I'm out here without my sneakers on. Since it's the back porch, I swept it off so I wouldn't punch any holes in any nice gear. I've got my favorite socks on, my Smart Wool Hikes, and my Mountain Hardware kilt. And I'm wearing the poncho right now, the MLD Spirit 48. And my goal is to do a safety test of sleeping. I've already worn it at 40 degrees. Cold, you know, tuck my hands in without this rain jacket on, and been okay sitting on the back porch, or sitting on the front porch. I'm just chilling and playing with my phone. My hands got cold, like they are getting cold now. My toes got cold, but I felt safe, you know. That was without moving around for like an hour and a half. So the goal now is going to be to lay down and see how long it takes me to get cold, if I get cold at all. I don't know if I'm going to sleep out here all night because I'm staying up kind of late. I'll probably get kind of bored chilling out here. My phone might die. But if I can lay down for a good 2 hours and be warm, then I'm happy. Two things. I'm going to try to sleep in my rain gear and see if I get too hot. If I get too hot, that's awesome. That's great. That means that this is completely safe for summer use. This is like secondary rain gear to my poncho tarp, the green thing, and it's just going to mean that I have a bigger buffer of safety, much colder than the 48, which is a 50-degree rating on the quilt that I have, my synthetic quilt that I'm wearing. So I'm noticing already that the rain jacket traps a lot more heat, especially around my neck and stuff. Like, it feels awesome, and I could even balaclava this hat here and have like crazy amount of coverage. Another thing that I'm thinking of doing, vapor barrier, I don't have rain pants, right? So I can wear my kilt over me as an extra blanket if it's cold, and put my feet inside that Cuban fiber backpack, the balloon pack from Appalachian Ultralight. My thinking is that that'll be a vapor barrier liner for up to my knees probably, and then if it's cold enough, then that'll do the same as the rain jacket is. Just trap in that heat and moisture, keep my insulation dry, while also boosting my warmth. So creating my own little microclimate. If you want to learn more about that, he gets pretty technical with it. Andrew Circa's website has some stuff on the use of vapor barrier liners, and I'm just going to see how far this can boost my sleep system for tonight. Okay, so I'm going to get into bed here, and I'll get back to you in a second. Feet are starting to get cold. I overinflated this a little bit so that the cold air wouldn't really take too much lift out of it. It's about perfect for me. Still haven't put the Velcro patch on the back here in order to get it to stick onto a pad. So I have to try that out fairly soon. So I'm gonna, while I'm wearing it, I'm gonna make the foot box. Alright, so that's the Velcro seal on the side with snaps. Put it back out. Cinched it up there on the tail. Alright, so slide this off. It's amazing how your legs don't get very cold very quickly. And here I'm going to snap the poncho head slot closed with 3 snaps. Before I throw my cold feet in the... Wearing your shoes is probably a good idea when it's cold like this. Again, the goal is to be in bed long before this. It's kind of a worst case scenario thing, yeah. I've got a foot box found. It's there. Yeah. Already warmer. Again, I'm leaving my rain jacket on. And I'm not gonna drape my kilt down to my feet yet. Just to see. That's all the heels. Bivvies are always fun. Still figuring this one out. So glad I got the wide. Hope I'm in view. Nice and tight around the collar. Tuck the shoulders in. Oh well. I'm gonna do it first. Zipping this thing up and open and closed is kind of interesting. I'm pretty impressed with the immediate warmth that you kind of feel with the synthetic insulation. And what I'm doing here is I'm tucking the insulation underneath my butt, underneath my shoulders, so it'll cue if any drafts. Kick out the foot box a little bit so that my toes aren't compressing the fabric down there, aren't compressing the insulation. My phone battery's gonna die so fast in this cold. In the cold, you really have to keep your phone battery and your phone close to your body. All of your battery-powered devices just want to die so quickly. And warming back up again. Got up to go to the bathroom. A simulated nighttime bathroom break. The whole setup got a little cold. Retained most of the warmth that I'd already put into it by laying down in it for a few minutes. The rain jacket is an incredible boost to warmth. Pretty darn nice. Now I could probably get my head in under here too. I got my quilt. Let's see if I can get on my side. I got my quilt. Slippery. That's pretty annoying. The quilt wants to slide all over this brand new thermarest. It's like trying to sleep on an ice skating rink. Tighten this back up. Much more comfortable on my side. So I got the longer length quilt, thinking, if I lay on my side, I want to be fully covered. I don't want my butt peeking out or anything. I'm getting a little cold. And so I got it, I think, the third smallest size. I got the large. And its girth, its width, or whatever, is much wider. And I'm sure if I took a moment to do so, I could wrap the quilt fully around me. I also have pad straps. I could strap the quilt down so that it stayed connected to the pad at all times. But what I'm trying to do is see if I can wrap myself fully up in the quilt, make sure there's no drafts or anything. So far it feels pretty nice. I was a little worried about that poncho head slot, to be honest. Can't find it now. I'm guessing it's a slightly cold spot by my knee. The problem with the poncho head slot is that it doesn't have Velcro, because if you think about it, I guess there's not really abrasive hook and loop Velcro, where it's like there's hook and loop on both sides, and the loop kind of keeps the hook from scratching your neck. And plus it's on the top side of the fabric, so putting your head in from the inside or on the underside, you'd be fine. But for whatever reason, there's no hook and loop there, and it's just 3 snaps. So one of my concerns is that on a colder night like tonight, I might feel like a draft through those 1, 2, 3 small gaps on either side of both of those, on either side of all those snaps. So 4 small gaps. The one cool thing about the snaps is it doesn't scratch at all. It's pretty comfortable. And the left and right snaps, if I leave the middle unsnapped, after I put my head through it, obviously I can't snap the middle one, but I can snap the side ones, and it seals up pretty tight on my neck. And the first time I tested it as a jacket, I didn't have the rain jacket on, so I was worried about the heat escaping. And just clicked it in place so that nothing could leak out, and it sealed up around my neck. Not being too tight, I'm not like cutting off circulation in my brain or anything, but like, there are no veins standing out, bulging. But I really appreciated how it sealed in the extra warmth. I figured that out pretty quick. But if you don't move around, it gets pretty cold. Your fingers and toes will get cold first, and that's really something you have to address in a real situation. Your fingers and toes start getting cold. Your body's not able to keep them warm. You need to wrap them up. You need to put your extra Ziplocs, your bread bags around them. If you have gloves, put them on. Tuck your fingers, obviously. Your fingers can obviously go tucked under your armpits and things, or down around your groin if you hate yourself that much. But it's really hard to warm up your toes. The warming solutions boil down to having some kind of bag or thicker socks or vapor barrier liner to put your feet into. So my chest is plenty warm. My toes are kind of burning. Toes should warm up here in a minute. My upper body is very warm. So, in a real life scenario, if my feet were this cold right now, I'd be putting them in that bag, in that cubic fiber backpack, and just shove my foot in there, each of my feet in one of those pockets, and just have that extra warmth retention. This is so hard to, you wiggle your toes and stuff. It's so hard to perfuse that tissue with warm blood, I think. And your body just wants to shunt the blood away from those peripheral areas. But yeah, I'm actually getting quite warm now. It's pretty nice. This is the low end, like, of what I expect to run into. And this is just out in the open. Normally my tarp would be above me, and something low and with just enough room so that I'm not touching anything, and I have a lot of my body heat trapped in there as well, and a lot of wind blocked. Increase the overall warmth of my sleep system, my shelter. Probably have to say the biggest increase in warmth that I'm feeling is from the full-length pad. It's so nice to know that my knees aren't going to hang weird all night, my legs aren't going to hang off all night, my ankles aren't going to get sore from digging into a hard surface like a root or a rock or the hardwood floor of a shelter. Pretty happy about that. My lightweight buff, it's actually a North Face buff. Somehow all of my daily wear stuff, my worn clothing, has been North Face for whatever reason, except for my hat, which is my hat and my underwear. But like my shirt, my shorts, my buff, like very visible stuff other than the hat, it's all North Face brand. And I didn't do that on purpose. I just picked it out and gave it like the breathability test to see if like I could breathe through it and like how much it restricted airflow. And oh, it's all North Face stuff. Oopsie daisies. I think it's all discontinued now, but I really like it, the better than the naked stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty warm. My toes are starting to get warm. Toes are the last thing to warm up, for sure. I will say I am feeling a cold spot. I can like hold the fabric underneath me. Should be good. Feels a little warmer. And again, I've also got my quilt on, so I don't know, maybe an extra 2 degrees of warmth, or maybe more, I don't know. I mean, insulation value is cumulative as long as you're not compressing your other insulation, right? But I could put my quilt on top of my legs too. I could wrap my quilt around my feet. Or not my quilt, I could wrap my kilt with a K, not a Q. I could wrap my kilt around my feet. That'd probably be a really easy, quick solution that doesn't involve throwing my backpack down in the bottom of my foot box of my quilt, yeah? Might try that. It's amazing how nice this Bivy is. There's no compression of my insulation. I've got plenty of room to move my legs around, move my arms around. It basically just covers me and encloses me, protects me from bugs. And there's no constraint to it really, I'm gonna have to be pretty careful with my tarp pitchings. This Bivy is not waterproof breathable, like the REI Minimalist discontinued Bivy I've been using. Which in the summer, that's great, because that Bivy got hot as hell. There was a night in September that the mosquitoes were out, and it was in the 50s somehow, and I was getting eaten alive if I got out of my Bivy, and I was in my Bivy basically naked, trying to tent it out from my face with anything I could, my hat and stuff, just to avoid getting eaten. And it's like I'm changing my Bivy up. So this one's a lot wider, and has a loop here next to my nose right now. You can probably see it. There's a little piece of cordage that runs down, and I mean, I'm okay with having the bivy against my face. It doesn't bother me at all after being in that really confined bivy for so long, but that little loop I can tie up to a piece of cordage and tent this whole thing up off my face, which will be really nice, just to have more of like a tent feel to it. But one thing I gotta say about this is I'm surprised how slippery it is. Like everything, and it's probably just the new pad and everything, and my torso length pad I think got a little worn in, and the fabric was a little less slick. Not like it was getting beat up or anything, it just got worn. I really think it gets less slippery, and I think the same thing with the new quilt too. That top layer has the DWR fab. The outside layer has the DWR coating on it. I'm pretty sure the inside doesn't. I don't think it would make sense to have both sides, but anyway. And it's really slippery, crinkly, new fabric, so that'll get beat up too, which will probably damage the DWR coating. But I think it's the 90 argon fabric. Should be a little thicker. Do a little better job of keeping the dew in the morning off. Little side splashes from the side of my tarp where I don't have perfect coverage. So yeah, I thought one thing I thought was that my this wide bivy would be wide enough that I could like taco up in it, like I could kind of roll up in it. And I did it inside before we ripped out the floor. I did it rolling around on the carpet. My plan was kind of like, if it got really bad, I could roll over and just pull one edge over my hip and like kind of fully encapsulate myself, like cocoon up in the waterproof breathable, or the waterproof, fully waterproof fabric on the bottom of the bivy, the bathtub floor, the ground sheet portion. But with the sleeping pad in here, that extra fabric is eaten up, which I'm glad that it is for most normal use. Like I'd rather have more of this vertical space taken up and have that bathtub floor kind of curl up a little bit so the water doesn't run underneath me, like between my sleeping pad and get onto the, like I'd rather it curl up and keep the water off my whole sleep system. That's what it's supposed to do, damp ground and stuff. I don't want the argon fabric touching and absorbing water. It's water resistant. It's not gonna like be able to sit in pooled water and keep me dry. So I'm gonna have to be more careful though with the water resistant fabric. I'm gonna have to pitch a little more carefully. I can't just throw up a lean-to in the rain. I can't imagine having only the chest zip, having this like wiggle out through the top. Having the side zip is going to be so nice. I was filming that section. I hopped in the bag and I changed the camera angle and got back in and showed like the process of getting into the bivy and everything. And sitting there talking to the camera for a while. I'm gonna have to go back and see how long it went for, but the phone died. And I haven't charged it, I haven't done anything. The cold killed the battery from 30%. Within 12 minutes, boom, dead. Put it in my chest pocket, kept it against my body, and once the phone warmed up, was warm to the touch like my body, heat, turned it back on. There you go, 34%. Like higher than it was when I looked at it before it died. So it went 30 something, 20 something, boom, dead, instant, fast. So keep your electronics close to your body. Keep them inside your sleeping bag. Headlamp, anything that runs off battery power that you need, man, keep it close to your body if it's cold. Cold really affects your gear, it does. Alright, so here's what's going on. I'm inside my bivy. You can see how far away I'm able to get the camera from my face. It's not super claustrophobic or anything. Is that a bug? No way. So I kind of talked that in my butt earlier. it said it feels like 31. Well, it does feel like 31. The temperature is 31. There's no wind. Pretty calm now. I thought there was a breeze, but apparently not. It's just because it's cold as hell. My quilt is rated 48. It's a 50-degree quilt. I think they call it a 48 just to call it a 48. Spirit 48. This is a full 20 degrees colder than my quilt is rated for. If you count it as a 50. I mean, you know, it's okay. It's 19 degrees colder. We'll call it 20 degrees colder than what it's rated for. So I'm very impressed. My legs are like they can feel the cold. Does that make sense? Through the quilt material, but my legs are not cold. My upper body in this helium-2 jacket is warm. My forehead was sweating earlier. So there's a little less insulation around the legs, it seems like, because I don't have rain pants on. If I had rain pants on, I'd be toasty. So not gonna add rain pants. Not gonna do it. Don't try to make me. So I'm really happy actually. I feel like this would at least be safe. It might not be super comfortable on a 30-degree night. Clothes a little damp from hiking and stuff, blah blah blah. But how many 30-degree nights are you gonna have in the dead of summer in the mid-Atlantic? It's not gonna happen, I don't think. The record low for May, the coldest date in May, which is earlier in May, I think, like 15th or earlier, is like 22 degrees, I think, at Harper's Ferry. So I'm going 3rd week of May. I will know before I go if the temperature's gonna be that cold. Like, it won't take me by surprise. If temperatures somehow get that cold when I'm out there, I'll just stay in town. I'll stay at the hostels or whatever. But I'm expecting it to be much warmer than this. And if this is what it feels like at 30, it's going to be right on the money at 40 degrees. It's going to be perfect. And I'm going to be like just warm enough, you know, when you're like sleeping in a cold bedroom and you have like just enough sheets and you're like, oh, you fall asleep. So I'm really excited. I think this is completely safe for the summer, especially with the rain jacket. Now, if it gets warmer, like much warmer, pretty soon after I start, I might send the rain jacket home. I might do that. That'll bring my kit down to like 4.3 pounds or something crazy. Partially for the weight, just to, you know, be able to do that. But it is nice to have that dedicated rain jacket. It's raining. You have to go pee or poop or something. It's the middle of the night. It's dark. You put your hat on. Oh shit, I tried to hold it as long as I could. I have to go. I have to pee. I can't hold it. Okay. You could lean over and pee out the side of the tarp or whatever, and, you know, that'd probably be fine. But if you gotta poop, man, whoo, you're in trouble. Put on your raincoat and go out there. It's not so bad. You have a place to put your toilet paper, you know, zipped up pocket. You go out with no raincoat. You better take off all your clothes before you go out there, because your clothes are gonna get wet and they're gonna hold that moisture in, and that's gonna compromise even with synthetic, you're gonna be cold. You're gonna be wet and cold all night, or at least wet and irritated. So it'd really even be better to like leave your shirt under your tarp and come back and dry off with it and stuff. But I mean, you can do this stuff in the summer if it's warm enough. But really, it's nice to have that dedicated rain jacket. Really nice. Even with the poncho being perfect rain gear, or in the winter I haven't had to use, you know, my frog tog or anything like that jacket. Doesn't back up at all. Like, haven't needed it. It's just, when you need it, you need it. It's nice to have that. It's nice to have that rain jacket. It's very good at what it does. Trapping body heat. You know, completely blocking out wind. There's really nothing like a rain jacket for added warmth. Without being insulated, you know, as far as like loft insulative value. Obviously it does have insulative qualities. It's making me a lot warmer right now. Hey guys, so it's been another 20 minutes or so, and feeling reasonably warm still, and getting kind of bored. I want to go in and edit this video up a little bit. So thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed If you like this video, click the like button. If you disliked it, click the dislike button. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you think I'm being absolutely insane by using a 50-degree quilt, I know you think I am, but really it's going to be pretty safe. So anyway, tell me, throw me your lighter pack link, man. If you want a pack shakedown, throw me a link to your lighter pack or your kilograms or whatever, and I'll give you my thoughts. I'll even make a video for you. Just getting amped up to get back out on trail, where I'm gonna put a lot of pictures on Instagram and meet a lot of new friends and stuff. So looking at expanding the YouTube channel like this a little bit more. Take some videos of camp and take some videos of my shelter setups and setting up inside of the AT, like man-made shelters, you know, not just using my tarp, and show you guys how I do things and give you an idea of like what it's like on the trail with the super ultralight pack. So okay guys, hope you enjoyed again, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna go inside and edit this video. Hey, so while I pack up my stuff here, it's still in socks, probably not good, and I'm moving everything back to where it was on the porch. Just want to show you a little visual representation of how cold it is. It's a pretty solid layer of ice there. See that? It's all sparkling. I'm not lying. It's 30 degrees.